Thanks for listening to the Swearing In podcast, where you'll hear the origin stories of those who chose to serve. So ground your gear, take a seat, and listen up. The Swearing In podcast starts right now.
Welcome to the Swearing In podcast. I am your host, Marty Smith. Today, my guest is former Army PFC and host of the Gunner Maine Radio podcast, Nate Haseleu. Nate grew up in Fargo, North Dakota, and attended Fargo South High School. In 2000, Nate swore into the Army with an MOS of 13 Bravo, Field Artillery. He attended one-station unit training at Fort Sill, Oklahoma. His first assignment was to the 2nd Battalion, 3rd Field Artillery in Giessen, Germany. In May 2003, he deployed to Baghdad, Iraq. He returned to Germany in 2004, and he left the Army in 2007. Now, this concludes your pre-brief, so let's get on with the interview. Nate, thanks for joining. I'm recording now, so that whole last 5 minutes is gone into the wind. But you grew up in Fargo, North Dakota.
Yep.
Went to Fargo South High School and graduated in 2000, right?
Sure did.
But you didn't go to your graduation because you were working at the wire plant. Was it the wire plant?
Yeah, wire assembly plant.
Wow. And you were working there because you had already gotten married.
Yep.
Okay. And you had a baby on the way.
Yeah.
So, and they paid you pretty good in overtime, and they gave you a good salary and benefits. So that's a smart move. That's actually a smart move.
Something like 20 an hour, and this is back in 2000.
Damn, that's a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, geez, that's a lot for now, really. Still, with all the goofy minimum wage shit. So you were telling me about your mom's whole side of the family being in the military.
Yep, all the way back to I think it's 1777. It might be 1778, but yeah, something like that.
Wow, that's really cool. Is that what influenced you?
Yeah, that's actually what influenced me. I grew up hearing stories about how my great something grandfather was on the Lewis and Clark expedition, and he had served. And the Charbonneau was his brother, my great something grandfather. His brother married Sakakawea.
Wow, jeez.
So yeah, it's just a whole, yeah.
That's insane, man. Is your name French?
Yeah, the grandpa's name is French. Yeah, they actually came over from France.
Okay. All right, so they probably got all that trapper history and all that other early American stuff going on, right?
Yeah, grandpa's dad actually passed away in 1950 something, but his dad, was born in the 1800s, and he grew up trapping.
Wow. That's pretty cool. I mean, it's so unusual to hear that now with a family history, with everybody out there. God knows where they're from. So that's really cool. That's really Americana right there.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy, the history. I was proud, proud of my family history. So
yeah.
Grandpa was in the Army. He joined the Army in 1942 or 43. He was actually in the Army when the Air Corps was made, and he ended up going from the Army to the Air Corps when they changed. Yeah.
So he actually joined. He didn't get drafted.
No, he joined. He joined at 17 with some questionable paperwork.
Yeah, it seems to be more common than you think it is.
Grandpa ran off. He was being worked to death on the farm, and
that'll do it too. That'll do it too.
So Grandpa came from a family of 15 kids. There was 8 boys in total. God. And by the time Korea ended, there was 2.
Oh, you're kidding me. Wow.
Yeah.
They all went in?
They all 8 boys went in. No, 7 boys. Uncle Eli, his youngest brother, was blind. He couldn't go in.
Oh, okay.
But yes, so Grandpa's the only one that made it.
Golly. Jeez, what a hero. Okay, so how's the thought in your head come up? The wire plant just breaking you down?
No, I was 18, and I was getting tired of working 16-hour days, trying to make ends meet, paying for everything.
Yeah, right.
It was a boring job. I was going stir crazy.
Yeah.
And so I figured, you know what? It's time.
Yeah?
Well, she told me you joined the service, and I'm gone. And I joined the service, and she was gone.
Really? She did? I would have thought that would have benefited her. Yeah?
Yeah, she was a pacifist and an anti-this and anti-that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So you walk into the recruiter or what?
Yeah, I walked in. I actually walked into the Marines first.
Uh-huh.
And I'd gotten all the way through all the paperwork. And I got into MEPS, and the Marine, I don't remember what his rank was. He was an officer in the Marines, goes, a lot of the recruiters have been telling troops about this, but they told you about the water training, right? And I was like, and I walked out, and I walked into the Army office, and I said, all my paperwork's done.
No shit. Wow.
So it took them an extra 3 days to switch over my paperwork, and I was good to go.
That was just like that?
Yep.
What, was there something about the water, or you just didn't like it?
I'm just not a fan of the water.
Okay.
Fair enough. I'll go out in a boat and stuff, but
yeah,
I'm not a big swimmer.
Yeah, but you don't want your feet and hands or your feet and ankles tied and go down to the bottom of the pool. You don't need to be doing that.
Yeah, I didn't know about any of that. He broke it out. I was nope, I'm good. Nope.
Okay, well, I'm glad you ran into him, huh?
Yeah.
Where was MEPS at? Was it in Fargo?
Oh yeah, we actually had one of the only 2 MEPS stations in North Dakota at the time.
Okay. So you take the ASVAB then?
Yeah, I don't remember what score. God, that was 26 years ago.
Well, sure. I don't care about your score, but did that influence what job you wanted? Did you have an idea of what you wanted to do?
I knew what job I wanted to go into going in, but I was offered better jobs that would have been more office based. None of the issues I have now would have I had, but I walked in. I knew I wanted artillery. It's just what I wanted.
Oh, no shit. So, what was your contract?
4 years.
You signed. I mean, was it delayed enlisted, or did you go in right in?
No, right. I swore in, and 24 hours later, I flew out.
No way, really?
Yeah, I told them I wanted the first thing smoking, so they put me on the first plane. They're like, "We can give you 15, 20 days." Like, nope, get me out of here.
Wow, that's badass.
My wife was so pissed at me that the day I swore in, she was so pissed off. I stayed in a hotel the night before I left.
Yeah. Oh man. You swore in at the MEPS right there.
Yep, right there.
Was that what year was that? No, what year were we talking about?
2000.
It was all in 2000, huh? Jeez.
Yep.
All right. So where'd they send you to basic?
Fort Sill, Oklahoma. I went to OSET in Oklahoma. I was the first class of OSET.
Now, what is that?
It's one-stop unit training. In other words, you do your basic, and instead of taking a break or going to a different unit or whatever else, you went straight into AIT without taking a break. Same instructors, everything.
I think somebody told me they did that for the infantry. So they went to Benning, and then their AIT was there. But yeah, I think they were saying that, is it one station unit training? Is that what it stands for?
One stop unit training. Yeah.
So now you're a 13 Bravo.
Yep.
13 bang bang red leg. Ha.
And when I was in Sill, I trained on the pop gun, that little toe behind.
The 105?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I got my orders, and it said Germany.
It said where?
All right. Germany. So
oh, nice.
Off to Germany I go.
No kidding. Where'd you go?
And I get there to Frankfurt, and they'd actually assigned me to a different unit. And they said they had too many people in the unit. Somebody, I don't know what happened. So they sent me to a different one, which ended up being 2-3FA. And God, that was a change of life, I tell you what.
First, how did basic strike you? Were you kind of prepped for it or no?
Well, I knew what to expect going in. I've
Okay.
been told horror stories from basic my entire life, whether it was Navy or Army or Air Force or Coast, all of my, yeah.
So you're 18, right? You're 18 when you're getting there.
Yep, I was 18.
What did your your parents think about you joining up?
Dad didn't care either way.
Yeah. Okay.
He missed Vietnam by going into college so he could become an X-ray tech.
Oh, okay.
Because it was a needed job, they couldn't draft him.
Wow. Well,
Mom was excited because, as I said, her entire family served. Even grandma was a nurse in the war during World War II. So,
damn, that's awesome. So you're off to, where was 23 FA at?
Giessen, Germany.
Giessen.
It's about 45 minutes northeast of Frankfurt.
Exciting, right? I can go in a foreign country,
Oh, I loved it. It was like the most exciting thing in the world. It was, yeah.
Did you get a cuckoo clock?
I've actually sent one home for my parents.
Very good. Very good.
Because when I was, there was a reason for that. When I was little, I broke my dad's cuckoo clock that was his mom's.
Oh, no way.
I felt bad.
No way. Yeah. Well, look at that. It came all the way back around, and you amended for your crime back then. So
I tried.
All right. So you get assigned to a gun crew. Were you in a gun battery, or did you get the
I was
being an HHC or service? Oh, Alpha
Oh,
Battery.
hell
okay.
no. Oh God, no. I was Alpha Battery, third section.
Yeah.
Third herd.
So you get there, you're number 8 guy, or wait. See, I'm doing old artillery. I'm doing the 109A5s that I was on, right? I don't know if the crews changed to when you went to the Paladin.
It was either 6 or 7, depended on section. It all depended on who got dumped in the unit.
Yeah. But now you're not, the Paladins lay themselves, right?
Yes and no.
Oh, okay.
It depends if it's working.
Were you still doing like aiming circles and posts and all that stuff?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I thought we were told, this Paladin can just stop, orient, shoot, and keep moving.
See, I was on a 109 Alpha 6, and if it was working, great. If not, you had to do it all. But we had a smoke that, for anybody that doesn't know, that's an E7 in artillery.
Your platoon sergeant.
Yeah, that he was there in Desert Storm and stuff, and he was on the old 8-inch.
Oh shit!
And he drilled it into our heads. And the fact that he did, we actually won top battery in the entire Europe, and we were number 3 in the entire army.
Yeah.
So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
There is a little, it's a little bit too over reliance on the tech that we get out of there.
Yeah.
And because I remember that was the big billing of the Paladin, right? And meanwhile, we're still running wire. We're still doing aim in circles. We're still laying a safe in the battery in 15 minutes, however long it took. I can't remember.
Oh, we ran wire. We did the whole yeah. Oh yeah. He had us run wires. He had us do the digs so we can make the
wow.
For ammo.
For the pits. Yeah.
Or we dropped spade. We had to drop spade. That's if we were going to fire anything over a certain size. You have to drop spade.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about for the old magazine. To build a magazine, we had to do it all. He made sure we did it all. We knew it all.
Wow, that's
because he said you never know when you're going to end up in a crappy situation and not be able to rely on other people. And he was right.
And he's right. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, weren't they supposed to put a Syncars radio in every one of those guns?
Yeah.
But Syncars works about half the time, at least.
I think they changed that out for another one.
It could be, yeah. Again, my Army knowledge stops in 98, so that's that's when I got out. So, all right. So your life in Germany. What are you when you get to the gun? Are you like number 5, number 6 man? They still do it that way?
Yeah, I was. Yeah, I practically didn't have a collar when I got there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. our drill sergeant did not believe in promoting in basic.
Oh,
so yeah, it was his
I
thing.
didn't know it was up to him. I thought it was up to like the points and all that stuff. It was up to the drill sergeant, really?
Well, our drill sergeant and our first sergeant and our sergeant major had all served together, and they were former ops, and they did not believe in making soft soldiers and promoting in basic.
So you couldn't come out as an E3 or anything like that.
No, they thought it made soft soldiers.
Jesus, these guys.
But I'm not complaining.
But you're impacting pay, first sergeant. You're impacting pay.
Yeah. Oh,
Jesus.
We'll get to impacting pay in basic. My old drill was a. Do you remember how they used to say they only had to offer you the opportunity to sleep for 4 hours a day?
Right.
Well, my drill sergeant was a big fan of that. We'd finally lay down at 10 or 11 o'clock at night, and 45 minutes in, he'd come in and whip on the lights and tell us to get our crap because we're going for a road march.
God, what an ass. Well, I mean, I guess, it's if it benefited you guys, then great. But if he's just doing it to be a dick, then that's no place for that.
So one of those that actually leads into this funny memory I have. One of those nights, we went out in that road march.
Yeah.
And it started hailing. And Drill had us all get on the side, and pull out our wet weather gear and throw the rucksack on our back, to protect ourselves, and Kevlar's on. You're hearing it pinging off your head.
Jeez.
And about 15 minutes goes by, hail stops, and Drill goes, "Well, that was 15 minutes of sleep."
Oh man, God, that's good. That's good though.
Oh,
clever. I like that. So what are you doing? You're rotating to like graph or anything like that?
Oh, Germany, yeah, we did graph, and then we come back for 30, 60, if we were lucky, 90 days,
right? And
then we'd head back out to Hohenfeld.
Oh, Hohenfeld. Oh, jeez.
And every once in a while, in the middle of there, they'd send us to Wildflecken, and we'd do crap out there because that was only 20 miles, 15 miles down the road from Giessen. So, but Wildflecken is an interesting place because you can't veer too far off of the paths because there's still mines. Narrow? Well, no, because there's still mines off of the roads and walkways.
You're kidding? They haven't cleared those yet? Sheesh.
They send the engineers out there to practice taking care of the mines.
My God, they're not very good. So you deployed then?
Yeah. I
year?
was at 2-3FA. We were part of the. We went over in 03. Our 20-year anniversary is actually this month for our deployment.
Oh wow!
I can't believe it's been 20 years.
Where'd you guys go?
But yeah. We started off in Baghdad, and we kind of went from place to place after that. But we were Najaf, and then we were part of the first battle of Fallujah.
Oh, man.
We were the artillery for the first battle of Fallujah.
Wow. So, what are you thinking during this whole time?
Well, let's see here.
Was it exciting? Was it nervous? Was it?
Oh, I was terrified because I couldn't speak the language. I was in love with the food. I was able to drink.
Yeah.
Duty was light as heck. There was you did your job during the day, 9 to 5. I was done, and I had a place to live.
Yeah.
I was happy. Guys in the barracks were great to hang out with. Had a blast. We played some of the dumbest games I could ever. Yeah. Like we used to do this thing where we put money in the pot, and then you go to the poof house, which for anybody that doesn't know, that's legalized whorehouse, run by the supervised by the government. And whoever could come out with the most amount of names signed on or around their Johnson would win the pot.
Okay.
I mean, we did stupid stuff.
Right. There's nothing like the boredom of troops to create stuff you'd never think of in your life. All right. So you're sitting over there in Germany, and when did you get notified that you're going to deploy?
We had our orders for deployment 2 or 3 days before shock and awe.
I'm sorry. Say that before what?
Before shock and awe. Remember that huge?
Oh, really? Yeah.
40 hours.
Okay.
Yeah, that blanket thing happened, and a couple of days later, we had to start doing layout and everything prepped and doing drills and training and this, that, and the other. Went to Honesfeld and then went to Graf and then Honesfeld. I don't remember which is which. Yeah. Basically back to back. It was like 5-10 days in between.
Like 6 months before you went?
The shock and awe was in December or January.
Oh, okay. So about 5 months, yeah. Or so.
Yeah, right about 5 months. Yep. And the 10th, in fact, the 10th is when we railheaded. We put all our tracks on the flatbeds on the train.
Yeah.
And then 5 days later, we flew out.
What were you thinking?
Shit, I was scared to fucking death.
Really?
Hell yeah.
I guess it would be. I mean, you guys are, well, let me back up. Where were you for 9/11? You at Sill?
Yeah. I had actually just landed in Germany.
Oh, you just got to Germany. Okay.
I was just landed in Germany. My unit was in Kosovo.
Oh,
and I got to sit in the barracks and play fuck games because there was nothing to do.
Yeah. So you're really
showed up for PT. Yeah. Showed up for PT and you're done for the day.
Jeez.
So I'm sitting in my room and this guy that I met comes knocking on my door and he's like, "Hey, you got to see this movie. It's on AFN. It's the most insane movie I've ever seen in my life." And I turned it on and I watched this plane flying through a building. And I'm like, what kind of movie is this?
Yeah. Yeah.
And a few moments later, the commander-in-chief is on TV giving a speech.
Yeah.
And the MPs all of a sudden run down the hallway, knocking on every door saying, formation 5 minutes.
Yeah.
For drawing weapons, full battle rattle.
Damn.
Because we didn't know what the hell was going on. So we go down, we draw, we got 210 rounds.
Whoa, really?
And we're on gate guard.
Oh, they locked everything, right? And stuck you guys out there. Great.
72 hours later, I got to get off.
God.
I was off for 12 hours and I was back on another 72.
72 straight hours?
Yep.
That's insane.
Well, everybody was in Kosovo. So
yeah, I gotcha. And then now your mind is like, are they going to try to attack here? Or, this is real, right?
Yeah. So, I mean, it was crazy. We were, checking IDs, checking vehicles, checking this, checking that.
Yeah.
I mean, so they get back and, their bus gets back and yada, yada, yada. And they join us in guard. We start doing 12 on, 12 off.
Okay.
So, they figured you got four hours to get your equipment cleaned, everything put back together.
Yeah.
And then you got 8 hours off. And they had enough people at that point that if you weren't on guard, you had 12 hours in the motor pool or doing whatever else command you to do.
Yeah, yeah.
So it was nice. We were on guard 3-4 days a week. Not horrible. Well, anyhow.
No, and it's not like you're sitting in a hole. I mean, you're active on that guard, doing all that stuff that you got to do. So at least that breaks it up a little bit.
So I'm about 2.5 months in the gate guard, and I'm at the PX this day because the PX wasn't on post.
Oh, it wasn't?
No, it was about 3.5-4 miles up the road.
Okay.
Because, when they built it, this wasn't an issue they ever thought they were going to have.
Right.
So I'm on gate guard, and this brand new Beamer comes pulling up and doesn't slow down. And, I'm locked and loaded. I'm red. I flip that switch.
Oh, really?
And everybody's screaming at him. And I'm running up next to the car and I literally point at this guy and I see the fucking bird on his collar.
Oh, shit.
And he notices me and he slams on the brake.
Yeah, but he should have known better, right?
And he goes to get out to yell at me. And the staff sergeant that's with me puts him on the ground, faced into the asphalt.
Nice.
MPs, we hear those sirens coming. And he goes, you could have shot this fucker and got away with it.
Yeah, you really could have.
Colonel the whole time is screaming bloody murder about how he's a colonel and he's going to have our career and we're going to be busted down to nothing and yada, yada, yada. And the staff sergeant with me is just laughing, saying, this is a presidential order. You don't outrank him.
Yeah, right.
I'd had 2-star generals stop at the PX and he got out of his vehicle, let us search his entire vehicle. This is a 2-star general, so I don't know where this bird thought he was coming from, but
Damn.
it was the funniest damn thing that happened in my entire career.
That's awesome.
Oh.
I'm totally justified for it, right? They pat you on the back and say, yeah, do it again if somebody else does it.
Yeah, but actually I got cussed out for not pulling the trigger.
Oh, well, you probably don't want your first kill to be a 2-star, I suppose, right?
So I got reprimanded and they were going to do paperwork and Sergeant Major told me not to because, and it was a whole thing. But yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, sounds like a blast. Sounds like a highlight.
It was.
Okay, so you're railhead and everything. You're going out there. You flew down there. You arrive in Baghdad.
Actually, first we had to switch planes. So we took off in a commercial plane.
Did you switch in Spain or Italy?
We switched in Egypt.
Oh, God, really?
Yeah.
Well, at least you got a little closer. You didn't have to go military transport from there, further away.
We went from Egypt to Kuwait.
Okay.
And I've got a fun story from Kuwait. Okay. So me and a couple of the guys are bored off our butts because the ships are a day out from showing up.
Yeah.
With all the equipment on it.
Sure.
And we find some sheet metal. So naturally, what do? Let's go sledding on the sand dunes.
Oh, that's a pretty good idea.
So we're burning ourselves.
I was going to say it's pretty hot, but
wearing our leather gloves, burning our butt, trying to figure out what we can put underneath us. So we don't, but it was just a blast. Did it work? Fun. Oh, it worked. We had a great time. I got pictures here somewhere. I'll send you one if I can find one.
Nice. That's awesome.
I got to back up though to just a few days before we deployed. So, everybody's a little on edge and trying to have fun while they can.
Yeah, right.
So 2 major stories with my roommate at the time happened right about in this ballpark.
Okay.
And I'm not going to say his name because he has a good professional career now and I don't want this getting out to his coworkers.
Yeah.
But so one night he decided it was going to be a good idea to go down to Class 6 and get him 2 of those, what are these, like $6 for a gallon of wine?
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Red wine. It was like $6 for a gallon. And
was it jug or box?
Jug. Those big glass jugs.
Yeah. Okay.
And he thought it was a good idea to drink both of them in a couple of hours. So I come back from the club about 4 o'clock in the morning, and I crap you not. The ceiling is covered. The floor is covered. He's covered. It's on my bed. It's on the walls. Puke everywhere. Red puke.
Oh,
dripping
my God.
on everything.
Oh,
so do I worry about my roommate? No. I run down to CQ and I'm like, dude, so-and-so, he's got a girl in there. You got to go see it. They're going nuts. So they run down there and they open the door and one of them just vomits all over the floor.
Oh, because he saw it all? Smelled it all? Oh, geez.
So what do these guys do? They think it's funny to go tell a couple other guys to go look in the room because he's got a girl in there.
Yeah. Yeah, the whole vomitorium there.
So eventually it gets over to Battalion CQ.
Oh, it did? Jeez.
The LT comes over and he's like, this is not okay. You should be worried about your roommate. You need to clean this up.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, let's get it cleaned up, but I ain't cleaning it.
Right.
So I get my roommate in the shower and he's, and he sleeps it off.
Yeah.
And in the morning, he's in there cleaning up that vomit that was everywhere.
God. How were you able to stay there?
I didn't stay there. I crashed in a different room and he crashed in the day room.
Oh, that's so smart. God, that's great. That's a good one.
So a few days later, here he is drinking again. We're all drinking this time in the room. I mean, we've got 10 cases of Vosteiner, a couple cases of Leither.
Yeah.
And I know there was a bottle of rum in there somewhere.
Oh, guys.
But we're drinking.
Yeah.
And we order food from the little restaurant called El Gardino's that used to be on post. And my roommate runs out in the hallway in nothing but his boxers, attacks the delivery guy, and runs off with the food.
Oh my God.
So of course we went out and paid this guy. He didn't like attack him. He just like jumped on him, ripped the delivery bag away from him, and ran into the room with it.
Jesus.
So we go out there, we pay him, we give him a nice tip so he doesn't call the MPs.
Yeah, sure.
So I'll drop off the bag in the morning. He's not worried about it. And he starts eating, and he gets through part of his food, and some of it, he's going around stealing everybody's food. And goes into the bathroom and passes out in the crapper.
Wow.
So in my photo album, I've got I've got a picture of my roommate passed out in the crapper from that night.
Holy cow, man. This guy is a shooting star when he gets lit up.
The funniest thing is this guy had never had a drop of alcohol before he got to my unit.
Yeah.
So his first day at the unit, I took him to this place called New Yorker. No idea if it's still there. And it was run by a retired artilleryman.
Okay.
And he had created this thing called the newbie shot. So it had Everclear, Stroh 80, like every kind of liquor you can think of that was the strongest in that category. And he put it all in there, and then he covered it up with Dr. Pepper and something else. So it didn't seem quite as bad.
Yeah.
And the new guys would sit down, you put 3 newbie shots in front of them, which weren't shots. They were in like a tumbler.
Oh, God.
And you tell them that they finished all 3 within 15 minutes.
Oh, God.
Well, everyone finishes it. I finished it in 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Problem is, you don't feel bad until you stand up.
Right. Then that bat hits you in the back of the head, right?
Yeah. So this poor kid that had never had a drop in his life, I got him so plastered that night.
Oh my God. That's almost too cruel, but it's still funny.
Traditions. Isn't that what the Army's all about? Tradition?
It is. And they should know that. FNGs. They should know that, right? So tell me about the desert. Tell me about Iraq.
So I got to preface this with a little something. My knee went out while I was in Germany, and it had gotten to the point I never stopped working, and it gotten to the point they wanted to med board me.
Oh, wait. What happened? I'm sorry.
This is a story I got to cover before I talk about Iraq.
Okay.
So they wanted to med board me because my leg was screwed up.
From what?
And I work.
Oh, just really?
Yeah, I gotten to the point that I couldn't march right. But I didn't stop. I tried. I did everything I could. I worked as hard as I could, and they wanted to med board me. Well, I refused, and my command backed me.
Okay,
good, because they needed everybody they could. Because
yeah.
So, with that in mind, now I can get to Iraq.
What was it specifically that hurt on your leg?
I basically wore all the cartilage in my knee.
Yeah, that'll do it.
And pinched nerve in there.
Oh no!
I never let it stop me.
Yeah,
I just never ever let it slow me down. I worked. Yeah,
just slamming ibuprofens.
No, that and a little bit of scotch go a long way.
Yeah. At least ease the pain.
So,
all right, so you get past that. I'm surprised they kept you on deployable status, but like you said, they needed everybody, right?
Yeah, they did. They actually put down a stop loss, I think that day or the day after. So maybe I don't know if that's I don't know.
Yeah, probably.
So my command got me to go with, and I was fucking stoked because I wanted to be with the guys.
Yeah, sure.
So we got to Kuwait. We got to I don't know what port it was. It was some port you could see the ocean or and all the oil sludge up against the shore. And, yeah. So anyhow, we go from there. We're there for 5 days, I think.
Okay.
Because the ship showed up, and the guys started. I was pissed off because I was a driver of a cat, and they didn't let me drive my cat.
Oh no.
They had me pull security in a Humvee.
Ow.
So we start the convoy up to Camp Adari. We get there, everything's peaceful. It's still on the south side of the burn.
Yeah, right.
And we were in Udara, I think 5 days, running drills, running,
Okay. Yeah.
everything they could think of. That's where I saw, I want to say it was X-Men Phoenix, or
Oh
I
yeah.
don't know. They stacked a bunch of, it was the night before we took off. They stacked a bunch of Connexes and threw a sheet over it. And, or not a sheet, a tent.
Yeah.
One of the old tan tents.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they projected it on there. And I remember that being our last night there.
Yeah.
The next morning, we had a general, 3 or 4-star general standing in front of us telling us we didn't have permission to die.
Oh, jeez. Okay.
Yeah. I don't know
All
if it was
right.
supposed to be inspiring or what it was. I don't fucking know.
That's an odd speech.
Yep. So we roll out, and I'm in the back of a 5-ton. And
Are you like part of a task force now, or you still just all with 2-3 FA?
it's 2-3 FA.
Okay. All right.
We didn't get assigned to a task force until like a week or two into Baghdad.
Oh wow. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
It was a giggle fuck. It was bad.
Sure.
So we're rolling there, and we're not in Iraq for more than 30 minutes before we start seeing craters. Big old burnt out, craters, bombs or artillery rounds that hit, and there were craters all over the place.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we're still rolling along, and then we see an Iraqi tank.
Oh jeez. Yeah.
But this blob on the outside of it, and it stinks to high heaven.
Oh.
That's when I learned. That's when I learned what saber rounds do.
Oh my god. Yeah. Jeez. Dead body. Yeah.
Well, it's not the whole body, just all the soft tissue.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah. It gets the Sabo has a good way to get that out of the metal. That's for sure.
Yeah. So what? In case somebody doesn't know, when a saber round goes through an armored tank, what it does is it creates a vacuum, such a great vacuum that anything that's soft material goes out the exit hole.
Did you ever see the old goat film that they used to show on that?
Oh God!
Did you ever see that thing?
I heard about it.
Yeah, that was insane. That was crazy.
Oh.
You know, they strap the goat in there. They put the hatch up. They shoot it. They put the hatch down. It's nothing but red. And I was like, oh god.
Yeah. Well, we saw a lot more of that along the way. It was
right. This is just a ride in, right?
Yep. Yeah, that was the ride in. So when we first got to Baghdad, it was fairly uneventful when we first got there. We stopped at the Cross Sabers. All of us wanted a chance to piss on the Cross Sabers.
Oh yeah, right.
So the first place we stopped was the Fedini National Headquarters.
Okay.
And that was something else.
Did you bunk there, or did you?
Yeah, we stayed there for 3-4 weeks.
Wow.
It was it was a mess. Let's put it that way. It was a mess. It was, yep. So our first night in the headquarters that we're actually sleeping, 4 o'clock in the morning, maybe 3.
Yeah.
There's this huge explosion. But it sounded like a huge explosion because it was really, really close to the door. And we all jump up. We're in our boxers, some of us got our shirt on, all grab our weapons. We're locked and loaded. We run out the door, and there's a sergeant out there rolling on the grass, laughing his ass off. He made a super large MRE bomb. And set it off.
No, did he really? God.
He does not. I don't think he had any idea how close he was to getting shot.
Yeah, right.
He burned poop for 2 weeks.
Ah, well, there you go. That'll do it. And now he's got cancer. So,
everybody. It didn't matter if you were enlisted. You had a poop burning duty. You had a rotation in there.
Right.
Guys would pay each other to burn poop for them.
Yeah, sure.
I'll take your convoy and give you $50 if you take my shift. Yep, sure.
Yeah, right. It's weird that I don't know why we made that decision to do that, but anyway.
Because they did it in Vietnam and it worked.
Yeah, but I mean, my God, you're in a city. You're 40 years away from Vietnam, right?
Well, because they still crap in the streets.
Yeah. They
still dump
mess.
chamber pots into the street. The crap on the street. There's literally trash piles of rotting everything everywhere.
Yeah, that's amazing.
It's not our kind of city.
Yeah, that's true.
It's like if you took ancient Paris and stuck it in the desert.
Yeah, and never cleaned it.
Yeah. Well, have you seen parts of Paris? The tourist parts are very clean, but the rest of it's not.
Oh yeah, I mean, we got hung up coming out of the desert in Italy, in Venice, and they gave us like 8 hours to go fuck around in Venice, and Venice is a shithole.
Yes, it is. There's still people in Venice that dump chamber pots out their windows.
Yeah, and so I mean, yeah, you go to the what is it, St. Mark's or St. Paul's Cathedral, whatever. Yeah, that's all beautiful. You know, taking wedding pictures and shit out there. But you walk along the canals and you're like, this is filthy, man.
Yep.
And scary. Because the tall buildings is like, I have no escape route whatsoever.
And they're sinking like crazy.
Yeah.
And there's water everywhere. There's nowhere to go.
And it's nasty water too. So
God, it's brown, it stinks. And in the summer it really stinks.
Okay, so how long did you stay there? You stayed there for 4 or 5 weeks, you said?
I know it didn't quite make 5 weeks. Might have been 3 or 4.
Okay.
So I got a great story about this place. So the first real coin, the first coin I felt like I really was proud of.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if I earned it, but I was proud of it.
Okay.
So we went and we were looking at this bombed out headquarters of the Fedadine.
Yeah.
We were staying in their barracks and their interrogation rooms. But the headquarters was like bombed out. And some of us got bored one day because we weren't doing anything. We weren't on guard. So we were just walking around. I'm like, let's go explore. So me and some guys and Chris Quinton, who passed away recently,
I hear that,
was with us. And Quinton was like, oh man, look, it's a portrait of Saddam. Full guard. I'm like, okay. And he drops trout and starts dropping a deuce right on Saddam's face. So
where was this portrait at? On the ground?
Laying on the ground, like a blasted behind the building.
Oh, jeez.
On top of a pile of bricks.
Yeah.
So he's just starting his second log.
Oh, jeez.
And I'm like, oh shit, I can't call attention. What do I do? Dude, there's an officer coming. I was like, well, fuck. You can't pull a trowel.
Right.
And this full bird walks in, and I have no idea who he is. He's not with us.
Yeah.
He's got a patch I don't recognize on his shoulder.
Uh-oh.
And he goes, as you were.
Oh, jeez.
And I'm like, what? You see this dude dropping it as you were.
Really?
He just keeps going back to what he's doing. He goes, when you're done, come see me.
All right. That was
like, all right. We get done. We're like, oh fuck. We just literally shit on it like a national. This belongs to the country. It's like important. So, we see him on the other side of the building where the grass is.
Yeah.
And he goes, it's about goddamn fucking time.
No way.
Coins Quentin and coins the two of us that were pulling guard for him.
Oh man,
like, oh,
that
shit.
is awesome.
And that's one of the proudest moments of my life.
Where'd you go to once you rolled out of the Fedadines?
About 7-8 miles down the road to the police national headquarters.
Oh, jeez, really?
Yeah. And we spent months and months and months and months there. It seemed like it was endless.
Was this all in Baghdad?
Yeah, we went from living right on the river to seeing the bridges that went over the river.
Oh, God. What were your duties then? I mean, did you go and do crew drill or?
No, we were told to park our guns and we were infantry.
Oh, man. So they had no idea what to do with you.
Nope. This is back before they started putting units together to work with other units. So that there was like an armored unit with every infantry unit that was with this unit with that unit. So it was balanced and they could all work together.
Right.
No, we had to do everything.
Jeez.
We were responsible for all the duties and get this, I shit you not, Area 51.
Area 51, that's what they called it?
Yes, because they had it all broken up into different areas. They had Baghdad broken up into like 75 or 80 areas, and I lived in Area 51.
Oh, wow. Hope they had a sign you took a picture of that.
They didn't have a sign.
No,
but I tell people all the time as an icebreaker, I'm like, I lived in Area 51.
Yeah, that's brilliant. That's brilliant. And they're like, what?
Yeah, there was Area 51, Area 51 Whiskey, and Area 51 Echo. So.
Oh, geez.
There's actually a filmographer, or what do they call those guys that make movies? Like, filmographer?
I guess like a documentary.
He made a documentary.
Yeah.
Yeah, he came out and I spent a few months with my unit. Made a movie called Gunner Palace.
Oh, yeah?
Because we had taken over one of Saddam's palaces there, and yeah. And he made Gunner's Palace. That was...
God, that sounds familiar. That sounds like I've seen that.
Then you probably have. It was a big deal for anybody that was enlisted. A few years later, he did this, another little... It was about half the length, called Hollow for the Flag. And he caught up with some of the guys and covered that. And a few weeks ago, or about a month ago, he released a 10-minute piece that just said Iraq 20 years later. And he caught up with some of the guys again.
Did you get in the documentary?
No, not that you can see.
Oh, okay. But you can watch and go, oh, I remember doing that. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. But the difference was everybody was focusing on the combat at the time, and he focused on our lives.
Yeah. Yeah.
What we did from day to day. Right. So
maddening.
Yeah. And then he actually left for a while, and when we lost one of the guys downrange, Stuart Moore and Lieutenant Saltz, he came back to shoot more footage.
Oh, wow. Wow.
So
5 months. So are you just sitting there going, what's the point of all of this? Or?
Well, no, because we were on patrol. We were kicking in doors. We were doing raids.
That's right. They made you infantry.
Yeah, they had us doing everything. We were doing
well, that's pretty
humanitarian. We were doing humanitarian work. We were doing security guard at the water plant and the gas station. We were training. We actually trained the police force for Baghdad. We were escorting dignitaries and the new elected officials.
Yeah.
Or those that were trying to run for office, I can say. We were doing trying to broker peace deals between different tribes.
God dang.
We were doing everything. And 23FA actually wrote the SOP that was used in Iraq until 2006 or 2007.
Really?
Yeah.
What that means is you guys did a lot of missions.
Oh, yeah. So just about every time we rolled out the gate, we had to sign a non-disclosure.
What amazed you about that time, about that country, about that city the most?
There's different aspects that I found amazing. One was how much some of the people really liked us.
Oh, you never hear that.
There was a guy that lived at our back gate. His house was literally at our back gate.
Yeah. And
this man would bring us food that his wife cooked.
Oh.
He would thank us every time he saw us. He would run to town and get stuff for us.
Yeah.
He introduced us to safe food vendors because the supply chain was not the most reliable thing in the world.
Oh, okay.
So like we found there's this dish, and I don't know what it's called. One of the best things I've ever eaten in my life. It was this rotisserie, open fire rotisserie chicken with flatbread and this like tannish sauce, and it came with pickles and cucumbers and something else. And it was some of the most amazing food I've ever eaten.
Wow.
Haven't been able to find it since. Nobody knows the name of the darn thing.
Yeah.
But this guy showed us the vendors that are safe and the ones that we can trust.
Meaning that their food was safe to eat, or meaning that they were subversives?
Both.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, they were willing to work with us and make sure that we were safe. And they actually would give us intel because we were buying their food. They would pass on information to us free of charge.
Wow.
So it was an amazing thing.
How do you get in that mindset, or how do you operate in that mindset for that long? This is like Wild West, right? I mean, you don't know.
So
you
we got
look at everybody and like, I don't know who to trust.
Well, not only that, I've actually got a story that I'll bring up here in a minute. But when we got there, we only had armor plates in the front of our vests. We didn't have up armor vehicles.
Right.
They took away our gas masks. They took away our bayonets. They took away anything that might, quote unquote, scare the locals.
Jeez. Okay.
We were sorely under equipped. Like they make an extra large plate, but the largest ones we had were mediums.
Jeez. Well, that's.
There were guys with us that were really, 6'2".
Yeah.
Wearing medium plates.
It's almost like, what's the point, right?
Well, it was something, and something better.
Yeah, it was
nothing,
something. Yeah, I guess so. Right.
So, bringing up the plate thing, a good friend of mine, his name is Tony Eads. He took a round one night, went just above his plate, and he's lucky he can walk. There was one point they thought he'd never walk again. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah. That same night, another guy had his Johnson shot off.
Oh, jeez. Really?
Another guy had a round skip up the back of his Kevlar. That night was one of the worst nights of our entire deployment. It was. So it was supposed to be a standard raid. And, the sawhorses went up and everything. And at one point, a firefight had started, and how that goes. It's chaos.
Yeah.
And a car drove through the sawhorse and was speeding down the road, and it got lit up. And there was a family inside.
Oh no! Yeah.
And if you listen to the podcast, Belen was actually the one that carried her.
Oh, gee. I think I did hear that. I did hear that story. Yeah, he told that
and
on the last one, right?
Yeah, 2 episodes ago. Yeah. And it was that night. That night changed all of us.
Oh wow.
So anyhow, before I get too dark, because that night was really, really bad.
Sure.
I could get into some real darkness with that one.
When was that? Do you remember, like, month and year? Was it still 2003?
It was 2003. I remember that. It was late spring, early summer.
Okay. Right.
And I know we were in the police headquarters.
Oh, all
just
right.
That whole,
right.
Like the whole time is just everything over there is such a blur. It's
sure. It bleeds in. Yeah, it bleeds all together. Especially after 20 years too.
Oh God. I know some of the guys still remember, but they've lost some of the other things that they've had over the years.
Yeah.
So anyhow, do you know what a dirty Sanchez is?
Sure.
Okay. For those that don't know, it's when you go from the A to the V, causing infection, all that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So General Sanchez was leaving and General Shinseki was taking over.
Okay.
And there was a huge problem with being attacked from the ditches and curbs and those weird spots that get built when they built on-ramps, to highways and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know what to call those things, but ditches or I don't know.
Yeah.
And we were getting attacked from these things all the time because of the long grass and the trees and whatever else that was there. So General Shinseki thought it'd be funny. It was a really good idea what he came up with. We burned all these things, sprayed with JP8, and then we used excess powder bags to start the fire and burn them.
Smart.
Well, he named it Operation Dirty Sanchez. After General Sanchez that was leaving.
Well, at least the generals have a sense of humor about it, I guess.
But yeah, that was fun.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
So was a lot of the action just like single guys or teams of two just kind of sniping at you? I mean, except for that one night, it sounded like that was a deliberate attack, but
it was kind of a mixed bag of this, that, and the other.
But it all made for every time you stepped outside the wire, it was like, ugh. Yeah.
We never knew.
You never know.
We never knew.
Right.
IEDs were always an option. We'd heard these horrible stories of all these kids that were being used. Of course, there's the piano wire. I don't know if you guys ever heard about piano wire that they were using.
Were they stringing it across the road?
Yeah, and the TCs were getting heads taken off.
God damn. Jeez. I mean, it's Vietnam all over again, right?
Yeah, when we first rolled into Baghdad, we were given an order that if anybody threw anything at all at the vehicle, you had to shoot them.
Wow.
You don't stop for nobody in the road. No questions asked. Yeah, so
it's like Vietnam, Somalia, all that rolled up into one.
Yeah, it's like they learned all the dirty tricks from every other war and tried to use them all at once.
Yeah.
We had gotten lucky. I think we were there for 6 months before anything like that happened.
Yeah.
To Alpha Battery. Bravo and Charlie had experienced it, but we hadn't.
Okay.
We'd been really, really lucky.
So how long was your whole deployment?
I was just shy of a year. The rest of the guys came back later. They lifted the stop loss and they gave me paperwork they sent me to Fort Sill. And I was in Fort Sill for a grand total of like 3 weeks before they realized this guy can't work. By this time, I'm basically dragging my leg. It's dead.
So didn't they didn't try to do any rehab on it or anything like that? They didn't give you a chance to do that?
Moving it hurts so bad. Touching it. Yeah. I mean, I swear if the breeze blew just the right way, I was damn near in tears.
Yeah.
So, they'd sent me from Fort Sill to the hospital there. The hospital there said, well, we're not equipped at this time to take care of the med board and do all the evaluations on you and everything else. They're requiring you from coming back, before you can get out.
Yeah.
And they sent me from there down to Fort Sam Houston.
Yeah.
And my 4-year contract turned into a 7-year contract.
How so?
Because I was on a wait list for my med board.
Oh my God, you're kidding. Jeez.
There was that many people coming back that, from Iraq, and Sam Houston was one of the big medical centers.
Yeah.
They were so busy taking care of soldiers that were wounded and med boarding and everything else that were so much worse than me. I ended up working at intake at the med hold. I worked at the hotel where family members stayed. Worked in the post office for a little bit. They just kind of put me wherever they needed me at the time.
Did they ever talk to you about doing any kind of surgeries or anything?
They've done 3 surgeries on it since then.
Well, but I mean, while you were still in there, they weren't that wasn't an option?
No. They said, well, you're broken. You chose to deploy, so we're going to put you out.
Great. You're trying to fix me first.
Well, they said, it's more important to fix the guys that can still do their job and send them back than to worry about your leg is basically what they were saying.
Yeah. Wow.
So, I've had 3 surgeries on it since then, and now the VA says the only thing they can do is replace the thing, and I'm like, well, I don't trust you.
Well, yeah.
So I found medication that works really well.
What are they talking about? Replacing your knee?
Yeah, they want to go in and about 6 inches above and 6 inches below and everything in between. They want to take it all out and replace it with titanium.
Well, I had my knee replaced, for what it's worth. I had my knee replaced, but they went out to civilian doc to do it. Now, I don't know if that's just unique out here.
No, they have that here. It's just the VA's not sending it out here because they failed to pay the local hospitals for some of the surgeries on time, and now the hospitals aren't wanting to take them for. Yeah.
Just out of curiosity, do you have a VSO out there, or do you have anybody that can work with you on it?
Oh yeah, I have a great VSO. It's just right now I'm living with it, and I've learned to compensate, I guess. So for me, it's not a hurry.
Well, as long as something's moving, right?
Yeah, I mean, it impairs my life in some ways, but I get around.
Yeah. Right.
2 summers ago, I did 35 miles dragging my leg with me. So,
well, that's a testament to you being a tough bastard, I suppose.
That's what everybody says. I just figure I've compensated.
Well, yeah, but I mean, what are you going to do? I mean, you got 2 choices, right? You
exactly
lay down and die, or you get up and go, I suppose, right?
Yeah. So, yeah, but it is what it is.
They 100%. They 100% you.
Yep, they sure did. They said because they were intact by.
It took you 3 more years to do that.
Yep.
God bless.
I got out in 2007. August of 2007, and I went in February of 2000.
Wow.
Stupid story. So I was climbing back into the back of a 5-ton one day. We were on the way to do something. I don't remember we were getting ready to move from the Fedidine headquarters to the police headquarters.
Okay.
And I was loading up on the back of the 5-ton, and all of a sudden my back was burning. Searing, ungodly pain. And I couldn't figure out what the hell this was. And somebody goes, dude, you're bleeding.
What?
A lot.
Oh.
I'm like, what the fuck? I got no idea what's going on.
Yeah.
So
you don't have any pain with it or anything? It just.
Oh, it was ungodly pain. It was burning. It was pain. It was mind searing. I couldn't figure out what was going on, what was up or down or left or right or anything.
Yeah.
And we hadn't heard anything. There was no shots. There was no anything nearby. Right. We couldn't figure out what the hell was going on. So I get to the aid station. Doc goes, yep, it's shrapnel.
What? Just a random piece flying out of nowhere?
Apparently 5 or 6 pieces fell out of the sky and decided I was a good spot.
Oh, my God. You're the only one who got hit by it?
Yep.
Oh, jeez. Okay. Well, I guess better that than a sniper's bullet, I suppose, right?
Yeah. Well, I ended up leaving the aid station about 4 hours after I got there. And not 30 minutes after I left, it got blown up.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. That pretty much was the entire deployment for all of us, was insane crap like that happening.
Just near misses all the time, right?
Yeah. I think that's why we thought we were untouchable.
Did you ever shoot an artillery round? I mean, while you were out there?
Yeah.
Just what, like a practice round or something?
Did a couple in the desert, and then the first Battle of Fallujah started, and a couple days later I was sent home.
Oh, okay. All right. So the rest of the battery, the rest of the battalion went through that whole Battle of Fallujah?
Yep.
Oh, man. So, well, I don't know if that's a good thing that you left or not. I mean, you know.
Well, I would have survived, not with my leg.
You don't think so? Huh?
No, I was to the point that if they could have been giving me oxys out there, I would have been popping them like candy.
Oh yeah, yeah, sure.
I was bad. So my right leg is about half the, maybe a little less than half the size of my left leg.
And all around that knee joint, huh?
Yep.
And the nerve is still bothering you?
Oh, the nerve it's so screwed up. It's ridiculous. It's yeah. And then I've got balance issues from some other crap that happened. So we were in a building. I was pulling guard, tower guard, which is really just roof guard, in police headquarters. But there was a separate building from the one that we bunked in, because this one had been burned out pretty bad. And I was on my way up. There was no railing, and it was five flights to the top. And it was dark. You had to walk up with your MVGs.
Okay.
And I missed a step, and I was 4 flights down.
What, you fell through the staircase or?
It was the spiral staircase.
Oh,
it was
you
spiral
went
all the way
over
up
the,
and
oh my God.
down the side, and yep.
Oh, Jesus. Holy
So yeah, I
cow,
got balance
man.
issues to top it all off.
Yeah, to say the least. Oh my God.
And I'm not the only one that made that fall either.
Wow. Wow. Jeez.
I don't know how we got so damn lucky. And people ask me if I'd go again today, and if I went with the same group of idiots, I'd go in a heartbeat.
Yeah, right. That's always it, right? That's always the key.
We are actually Alpha Battery is one of the only units that to this day has not had a suicide.
Wow, that's big. That's big. How many guys you still maintain contact with?
All of them.
Oh, no kidding.
If they're alive, I talk to them at least once a year.
Do you have like a Facebook group or anything?
We do,
like
but
that?
we all just get together with each other on Messenger, and we do like large messenger videos. And Moore's mom, we all do video chats with her a couple times a year.
Nice.
One of my brothers, Duha Tran, went on his second deployment. He fell. But what's that?
He fell?
We lost him. He died.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
His wife is actually just as in touch with us as anybody else. She ended up joining the Air Force in his honor.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, it was I mean, I served with some of the most amazing guys you could ever ask for.
Well, how do we close this out, man? You got some words of hope? You got some words of pride?
Well, pride isn't my thing, but I will say this. It's something that I try and touch on in my podcast every episode. You're struggling, reach out to somebody. I don't care who it is.
Yeah.
Because we're losing too many guys. Thing is, what I found is these guys would rather call somebody that they served with than call an organization.
Oh, yeah, sure. That makes a lot of sense.
The reason I got going with my involvement in the 22 is I got one of those phone calls one night.
Oh,
and he shot himself while I was on the phone with him.
Oh my God.
And that really pushed me to be involved. But yeah, reach out. I don't care if it's PTSD or if you're having a hard time with your wife or if it's MST or anything. I don't care if you stubbed your damn toe and it ruined your fucking day. Reach out to somebody. Because we don't do that. I know they used to tell us, it was weakness to reach out for help, but it's not. It takes 5 times more strength to reach out and get some help.
It does.
Because you got to put your pride to the side to do it.
Yeah, that's words of wisdom. Hey, you want to plug your podcast?
I run Gunner Main Radio. Myself and my sometimes co-host Jose Belen. We he's got a lot going on.
Yeah.
But yeah. Swing over, give us a check us out. We talk about stupid crap. We just let it run wherever it runs.
I know you're on Spotify.
Yep. I don't know where else, if I'm anywhere else. I know I'm on Spotify.
Okay.
I don't know if I'm anywhere else. That's not my end of the deal.
So check it out. They got some good advice. These two guys really care. They're very connected. They got some funny ass stories. But it's Gunner Main Radio, at least on Spotify.
Yeah.
So.
And then if you want to hear some really really good stories, I used to have a show on YouTube called Daycare Podcast, and there's some stories on there that'll give you goosebumps.
Oh, and it's still out there, right? On YouTube.
Oh yeah, it's still up.
Daycare Podcast.
Yep.
So you guys check that out. PFC Nate Haseleu. It's been an honor to talk with you, man. It's been a privilege.
Likewise.
To get your story. God, that's great.
I can't wait to get you on the show.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I can't match anything that you say, but if you want to laugh at me,
everybody's got a good story.
I did 10 years in the Army and 10 years in the Air Force, so I'm ready to be made fun of. But I look forward to it.
Yeah, yeah. Just let me know whenever you want to come on. I'll get you on, and If we have to do it solo, we'll do it together, and that'll be the end of it. So,
all right, I'm waiting on your call. So, but thanks, man. Thanks for coming on the podcast. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I appreciate being on. I really do.
On behalf of PFC Haseleu, I'd like to thank you for listening today. I hope you enjoyed the show, and if you did, please leave a like and a comment, share the podcast with someone else. And as always, make sure to download the next episode for more service origin stories. So until next time, I'll change who?